What is up, everyone? It is Brad here, and welcome to Ask Brick episode number 68. For those of you who may be new, Ask Brick is my Q&A show here on all my social media platforms where you guys can ask me questions about LEGO, life, pretty much anything at all, and I'll answer them up here on video format that'll go on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. So I'm very excited to be getting into this week's episode. We've got lots of great questions here. I apologize, my voice is a little bit stuffed up. I have been a little bit sick recently, but I didn't want to miss an episode of Ask Brick, so let's get right into it. Of course, like I mentioned, please don't forget to leave your questions down in the comments below using the hashtag AskBrick across any of my social media platforms so I can make sure I answer your question on a future episode. And without any further ado, let's get right into the first question. This one is from Eduardo Cervante. Ask Brick, how did you dry your LEGO Titanic after you tested it in the pool? That's a great question. So earlier in July, when I tested my LEGO Titanic to see whether or not it would float, you guys saw it pretty much completely submerged underwater and was very wet. How I dried this off was, for starters, I left it outside, but in shade, of course. Outside, but in shade for almost a day, just to let it air dry there. I moved it inside and it was still absolutely soaked, so I basically set it on a towel and I just let it drip. And it took probably about a week for it to air dry like that. And then when I got back home and had to do some repairs because it did get damage on the inside, I started opening it up and there was still water in it. So in terms of how did I get it dry, I basically just let it air dry. And who knows, maybe if I open it up right now, I'll still find some wetness in it. But I feel like it's been a few months now, so the air dry probably did it. But there was not really much you can do. I took a towel to the outside just to get the water off so it didn't leave any residue and stuff like that. I just tried to shake it out a little as well, but air drying was the biggest thing. Couldn't really take a hairdryer or anything to it because I don't want to melt the bricks or do any damage that way. But yeah, it's just a lot of air drying, and it definitely is a long process. And like I said, who knows, I might actually open up the Titanic and still find some water in it. We'll have to see. This next question here is from BrickGuy42 Misprint Collector. Ask Brick, do you have any LEGO misprints? Why, yes I do. So I've actually shown this shelf in a video recently, but basically this is the shelf where I keep all of my misprinted LEGO. So for starters, this is one new product that I'm really excited about. This is just one that I picked up at Brick World Chicago earlier this year. This is a minifigure. It's not even really a misprint, but it's more like a test LEGO minifigure from the LEGO factory, which I really love. And then over here is actually where I do have a majority of my misprints. So I've got a few LEGO animals here that just have printing completely screwed up on them, which is pretty wonky. And then over here, these ones are more mismolds. So I feel like the bird, I don't know why it's there. I think it's not supposed to be made in white. And then these ones here are ones that are just the flower was completely molded wrong. That tile there, I don't even know what happened to it, but it came out of a set. We've got the jewel here that got damaged in transit or something like that. This plate just didn't have enough plastic get into it, so you guys can see it is a shortstop, I think they call it. But lots of really cool things there. Unfortunately, not as many misprints as some LEGO collectors and some LEGO fans would have, but I'm still really happy with them because I think they're new and they added, an element to your LEGO collection. This next one is from 49ers fan. Ask Brick, when you worked at the LEGO store, did you get a discount on Pick-a-Brick cups? Why, yes we did. Pick-a-Brick cups were exactly the same as any other LEGO set or anything like that while we were in the store. If you were in your first 3 months of employment, you got 30% off the Pick-a-Brick cups, and if you were after your first 3 months of employment, you got 50% off. So it was an amazing deal here in Canada. Pick-a-Brick cups are $20 each. I was able to get them for $10. I absolutely loved buying Pick-a-Brick when I worked at the LEGO store because it was just, I'm like, wow, I get a whole cup of parts for $10. This is literally the best deal ever. So I was very excited that Pick-a-Brick counted in that LEGO discount because that would have absolutely sucked if I wouldn't have been able to do that. But I loved getting the Pick-a-Brick discount. This next question actually really ties in nicely to the question about the Pick-a-Brick discount. This from is Yitza Chen. Ask Brick, what are the restrictions around new Build-A-Minifigure parts and Pick-a-Brick parts as a LEGO employee? Are you allowed to buy them right away, or do you need to wait the 2 weeks like other LEGO sets? So funny enough, the first time I actually ever considered this was literally right now when I read the question. As a LEGO store employee, I don't think that thought ever crossed my mind that the management might not let us buy the new BAM parts or the new Pick-a-Brick parts as soon as they came out. Band parts I remember back in the day weren't as like structured as they are now. Like the parts didn't change every quarter. We would just every once in a while get a new shipment of some things. Like from what I remember, it wasn't like anything crazy, and we were allowed to buy them right away. Same with Pick-a-Brick cups. We were allowed to buy the parts right away. And I guess maybe my LEGO store was a little bit flexible with that, because there was even sometimes where I was packing Pick-a-Brick cups while I was like working, you know, doing two things at once. But like, yeah, I'm really glad that they didn't say like, oh, you can't buy these parts for 2 weeks, because like if we got good parts, they were going to be there in 2 weeks because they're good. They fly off the shelves. So I feel like that was like one of the reasons why. If you were an employee like filling cups completely full before they even hit the floor, then I feel like they would have put a stop to it. But I guess also as employees, we did have to follow the same rules set forth by the LEGO store. Like if they had masonry brick and the rule was 1 cup per person, we wouldn't have been allowed to fill 2 cups in the back. Like we would have also only been able to fill that 1 cup. So I guess there wasn't really any restrictions around buying these new parts. Like we didn't have to wait the 2-week grace period like we would have to wait for the brand new LEGO sets that came out, but which that's a good thing, because that would have really sucked if we had to. But yeah, luckily we were able to buy Pick-a-Brick cups and BAM parts right away, and we did not have to wait. Because like I mentioned, if we had to wait those 2 weeks, we never would have got them because they would have sold out. So I would have ended up buying them full price. So very, very happy that there were no restrictions there. This next question is also coming in very hot in terms of working at the LEGO store. This one is from Harry Potter LEGO Lover. Ask Brick, when you worked at the LEGO store, did you ever use your employee discount for BrickLink? I've answered this question before here on my channel, but I'll answer it again just to clarify for anyone who wants to know. No, I absolutely did not use my LEGO discount for things for my BrickLink store. That would get me, and it would get any other LEGO employee, fired. There was a very strict no reselling policy as part of being a LEGO employee. You couldn't resell sets you got for free. You couldn't resell sets that you bought for 50% off. Nothing like that. Like if you were doing that, they were going to fire you, and they probably, if they found a bunch of employees doing it, they're going to change the way the discount portion works. So again, don't ruin it for everybody if you work at the LEGO store. Just follow the rules. So I never used my LEGO discount for anything on BrickLink, or like for my BrickLink store. I closed my BrickLink store as soon as I got hired at LEGO because I just didn't want that conflict of interest, because I knew I'd get in trouble for it at one point or another. So absolutely no BrickLink store, absolutely no using your discount for LEGO. Plus, like, you have LEGO restrictions. Like they track it, right? So like you're only allowed to buy like 3 of one set, which every BrickLink store knows you don't want to only part out 3 of one set. So even though the discount was good, I never used it for BrickLink. I solely use it for personal. There's literally a limit on the discount. It's like $3,000 or something like that. I always maxed it out myself anyway without the BrickLink inventory. So it was just not even a question. Like I used that discount for me and only me. So it was great. This next question is from Lego Loca. Ask Brick, have you read all of your LEGO books? So I've shown my LEGO book collection here on a few videos in the past, but I basically have 2 shelves full here in my LEGO room of LEGO books, and unfortunately, no, I haven't actually had a chance to read them all. So I pretty much read all the magazines here because they come once a month, but unfortunately, all of these LEGO books over here, I've read a lot of them, and I've learned a lot, especially from the LEGO Ideas book. That was the very first LEGO book that I ever got, but unfortunately, I will say I haven't gone through all of these in extreme detail. Look, a lot of the picture books are like the No Starch Press ones that I've done reviews on. I flipped through a lot of them, read a lot of them so I can make my reviews, but then I've got some books like Extreme Bricks and like A Million Little Bricks, which are like totally LEGO novels. I actually have a few other LEGO books in the other part of my house, which I won't show in this video, but yeah, there are a lot of LEGO books here, and unfortunately, I just have not had the chance to read them all. I still love having them in my collection, and sometimes I still reference them when I want to do some LEGO building and things like that. They're always fun to use and look at, but no, I just haven't had a chance to read them all because I do have a lot. Ask Brick, does it cost money to get into the Disneyland Paris or the Disney World Florida LEGO stores? I was wondering this exact same thing before I went, because the Disneyland Paris LEGO store is in like the downtown Disney Springs equivalent of Disney Springs in Florida. And the answer is no. Both of these places, both of these like Disney Springs, like Disney Park areas are completely free to anyone to attend. Like they've got lots of restaurants and other shops and attractions and stuff like that as well. They're part of like the Disney line, but they're not part of the amusement park. So anyone can go for free. So it's awesome to go to those 2 LEGO stores. I've had the privilege of going to both within the last year. I was very thankful to not have to pay those crazy Disney park prices to go into the stores because that would have just been way too expensive. But yeah, you can go to both of those stores for free. Both of them are highly recommended. I had a great time in each. I guess the Disney World Florida store has been like insanely busy with lines recently, which kind of sucks because it is a cool LEGO store, but like it's nothing incredibly special, I would say. But yeah, it sucks about the lines, but on the bright side, you can go for free, so definitely make sure you check that out. This next question here is from NKWY1UE. Ask Brick, do you need to create a reservations for the LEGO minifigure factory at the LEGO store? So this one's more of a tricky one because I guess it kind of depends and it kind of varies on which location you're visiting. When I went to the West Edmonton LEGO store in 2022, like earlier in the year in February, I did need a reservation to do the minifigure factory. I actually had to go up, buy the minifigure factory thing, and book a reservation for like 4 hours later because they were just so busy. So that was kind of interesting. Then I went to New York City, tried to make a reservation for the minifigure factory, and they're like, you don't need a reservation, just like go do it. Barcelona, same thing. You don't need a reservation, just go do it. Paris, same thing. You don't need a reservation. West Edmonton Mall, you didn't need one. Florida, you didn't need one. I was like, amazing, this is great. They must have done away with the reservation system. I was watching another YouTuber recently who was saying they wanted to do it but couldn't do it because they didn't have a reservation. I was like, what? I thought they did away with the reservation system. So while I only personally had to have a reservation once to make the minifigure factory, that was during COVID. Everybody was still masked up. There were still capacity limits in the store. So I just kind of assumed that I wasn't able to do it because of the capacity, and that's why I needed a reservation. But like then when COVID went away and everybody took their masks off and there was less restrictions, I'm like, oh, they must have just done away with the rules and stuff like that. So that's good. But I guess watching that recent YouTuber's video saying they need a reservation, I guess that's not the case. So if you are going to go to a LEGO store that does have a minifigure factory and it is like a make or break for you to do it, I would definitely go on the LEGO store's website and see if you're able to make a reservation online. Maybe give them a call and ask if you need to make a reservation. Because like, yeah, if you're really set on doing the minifigure factory and you get there and you can't do it, that would really suck and that's going to put a damper on your experience. So if it's really important to you, definitely just give the LEGO store a call. But yeah, in my experiences since the pandemic days are over, I haven't needed a reservation, but maybe LEGO is coming back with that. So just call the LEGO store and ask because I don't want to give you advice and ruin your experience at the store for sure. All right, and we've actually got one last question for today. This one is, ask Brick, do you think LEGO is meant to be played with? I got a lot of flack on a TikTok a few months ago now when I was like, this is my LEGO room. I'm not letting my cousins in here. I'm not letting my kids in here. Like, this is my room. LEGO is not meant to be played with. That's not what I meant. LEGO is a toy. I get it. It's an interlocking brick, sophisticated interlocking brick building system. I used to play with LEGO as a kid. LEGO is totally meant to be played with. It is a toy, blah, blah, blah. I just said my LEGO wasn't meant to be played with. Look around. Look at all this. All of my LEGO is on shelves and on displays. Like, it's done nicely. I don't have kids, but when I do, I don't want them coming in here and just like clearing off my shelf. That's not the vibe. They're gonna have their own LEGO. They're gonna be able to play with their LEGO with dad, and they can even sometimes play with my LEGO. But like this sits on the shelves. That's not their LEGO. Don't touch it. Maybe I'll change my tune when I am a dad. But like right now, I just can't even think of a kid coming in and just like whoosh, destroying all the shelves that I have. But yeah, obviously LEGO's meant to be played with. I used to play with it as a kid. That's why I'm a collector as an adult. But like, this is my LEGO collection, not my LEGO playroom. Like, it's on my LEGO office, not my LEGO playroom. So that's why I said I don't play with my LEGO collection. Do I think it's a shame that I have all this LEGO on the shelf and it's not being played with? No, literally no, absolutely not. It's my collection. I'm really happy looking at it and enjoying it that way. And sometimes I do play LEGO. Let's not kid ourselves. Like, I'll be in the city, I'll be playing with my LEGO. It's not a big deal. But like I said, my LEGO is my LEGO collection. It's not my LEGO playroom. But I totally think LEGO's meant to be played with. Like, you guys, some of you took my words out of context. If you want to let your kids play with your LEGO, go for it. As I said, my kids are going to have their LEGO. I'm going to have LEGO that my kids can play with. It's going to be a thing that we're going to do together. Just not like, you know, Wall-E, for example. Or not like Steampunk Willie or the Exosuit or things that are just expensive and like, no. But yeah, LEGO's totally meant to be played with. But like, time and place for sure. But alrighty, you guys, thank you so much for checking out today's episode of Ask Brick. This has been episode number 68. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and of course subscribe. Like I mentioned in the call at the start of the video, if you guys do have any questions for a future episode, please don't forget to leave them down in the comments below. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all here in the next episode.